Hey, good afternoon from Portugal. It is 6:15. Oh my word, 6:15 here in Portugal. So we're going from the boa tarde to the boa noite here, and welcoming you to the gardening Q&A with Head Gardener Lee McGrady on the bottom left of your screen, and Anna and John from the Fresh Air team in the United Kingdom of England, Devon.
No.
You get my drift. So how is everybody this week? Before I tell you about the terrifying ordeal of being chased by wild boar, kind of, maybe you could let me know if you've had as an exciting week as I have this week. How's it going for you, Anna, over there in Devon? A hot time in the UK, I think, right?
Just a bit, yes. I'm currently in Lisbon at the moment for some of the week, and it's yes, at the moment my laptop is saying mostly sunny. It's been blue sky most of the afternoon, and it's about 28 degrees according to my laptop, so it's a little bit warmer than I was expecting.
Maybe you could let me know if you've had as an exciting week as I have.
Yes,
Let's just mute John a minute.
Yes, I have been enjoying the fine weather on the beach a little bit, because we went to Paynton Beach for a bit yesterday for a bit of a picnic, and it was actually my first time in the sea. I was going to say possibly first time this year, because it was actually warm enough for a little bit of I say bodyboarding. There wasn't actually much in the way of waves. It was just sort of up and down waves, and not really any surf, but it helped with the cooling down process, and yeah, the garden's been looking pretty colourful as well, so all good. Just wish it would cool down a little bit, but all good.
Always the way in England, isn't it? You're long for hot weather, and then it gets too hot. Amazing. So you've gone through that little window of opportunity. Picture postcard painted in Devon, where the seagulls nick your chips. And I didn't know that you were a bodyboarder surfer type, Anna. Fantastic. That's good to know.
A little bit, yes. I think my first experience was a bit sudden. It was the classic on holiday, and managed to get the timing completely wrong, and managed to somersault off my board. So that was up in Trianon. Yeah, it's yes. I think once I got the first wave, it's usually good. So the first time I got to enjoy it today, and today over the weekend, and it's been just getting warmer and warmer here at the moment. So I don't know what it will be like later in the week. But,
amazing. Well, great to hear from you, and from the lovely picturesque village of Ipplepen, not Nipplepen, you man cavers who are among us, I know, this week. So yes, a lovely place, and not far from the little hedgehog sanctuary, I think, there in that part of Devon, right? Didn't you have a fantastic little hedgehog hospital there for a while?
We used to, yes. I think that's actually where the cat cafe is now. So I think it's as was, but yes, I think that was around for quite some time, I think. So yes, not far from here.
Doesn't sound entirely compatible with a cat cafe, does it? A hedgehog hospital. That's probably how a lot of them got in there in the first place. Anna, thank you so much. We'll come back to you and your list of questions. We've got some lovely questions coming in, and a few lovelies listening, calling us lovelies as well. That's fantastic. John, how's your week been?
Why won't you unmute? Yeah, just apart from not being able to unmute the computer, it's just kind of okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, decent weather. Cut the grass on Saturday. Just banged my elbow on the chair, which hurt because I got a really bony bit. Which, yeah. So anyway, but it's been a reasonably good week, I think.
Good man. Excellent. A man of few words, but of excellent insight from time to time, and the most amazing horticultural puns, which may come our way this afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's invite the magic, shall we?
Well, at least you didn't have Carl. At least you didn't have a boring week.
Hey, see what I mean? See what he did there, Mr. McGrady. How are you? How's your day been? Did you have a nice weekend?
I had a good weekend, yeah. I've got on the Friday. Had a bit of an lecture on Saturday. I spent all day with Colin on Sunday. Yeah, so it's been a relaxing,
we got some of that.
A relaxing weekend.
Very good. Quite right, because this is a very busy time. Yeah, busy time of year for you, obviously, in the garden. So good that you have a relaxing weekend. By relaxing, Lee tends to mean cycling for 50 kilometers and that sort of thing. But a change is as good as a rest, I guess. So Matthias is here. Hey, Matthias from Amsterdam. Go on, mate.
So we did intend to do 120 kilometres, but my cycling partner got a couple of flats and we ended up having to walk in the massive heat of the day on Saturday on a big open ground area. It was terrible, but great fun. You know, yeah, really struggled, but great fun.
There's his relaxing weekend.
Yeah, that's my relaxing. Yeah.
So Matthias in Amsterdam, how many eggs have we got?
Are you okay? Because you shouted.
I am shouting. I'm just excited. It's fine. Mrs. M's just come to the door to see if I'm all right. No, I'm just excited, hanging out with our gardening buddies here.
Where's the key so I can shut the gate?
Hanging up on she needs the keys to the perimeter. We are a bit touchy about wild boar around here at the moment. So Matthias, great to have your company. And yes, I think we're ahead of you, or we're up to speed with you in your intentions to go from having no garden to having a small farm in Portugal. I would want to see a TV program about that, Matthias. Evening all from Stephen Wells as well. Are we up to date with his gardening plans? But great to have your company, Stephen. Hello, lovelies. I've got a feeling that might be Fiona, who I'm hoping will have a little tour around her garden at some point. And John, thank you for putting that. If you've got to let Anna know your questions, or have only just thought of one, let us know right here. Excellent. Jeff Owen is here as well. Greetings all from Cape Town. Hope you're safe and well in South Africa. Troubled times over there, Jeff. I hope you and yours are well. Mark Stoll, good evening to you. Where are you, Mark? Can you remind us, you're in London? Do I remember rightly? Atlanta, Georgia this afternoon. Boa tarde, todos. Hello, Victoria. Are you green-thumbed, as you Americans say? Sorry, just gave StreamYard permission, says Fiona. It's me calling you lovelies, lovely. Thank you very much. Right back at you, Fiona. And I bet it's going well in your garden. It's been quiet on this no-dig front, though, you two. We'll come back to that. We have a calabash. Oh, we have a calabash that has grown too big to eat and is now huge and yellow. Great for seeds, I've been told. But when do I harvest it for seeds? First question in from Eric there. Eric Huizer, good evening to you, Eric. Lee, calabash, are you familiar with that?
I am. You've got to wait till they dry out, the seeds. So leave them on as long as possible until you start to see them start to open them up. You can harvest them. But again, do it into an envelope and write on the envelope and date it as well, so you know. Prior preparation.
Yeah. Okay. All about the preparation in the garden, of course. Yes, 80% preparation, 20% perspiration. Well, you know, I'm sure Lee will come up with a very wise little 80-20 rule for gardening there. But yeah, preparation is so important. Hey, Fiona and Simon here as well. Amigos this afternoon. And Eric, he's already got his question in, but there's the hi all from Eric. And Mark, in a very sunny Norfolk, not London, over there in the UK. Thanks for joining us. And Jeff is okay by the sound of it. About that film, thinking about creating a YouTube channel about my journey. Yeah, great idea. From deciding to go to Portugal, looking for properties, moving to Portugal and all that, of course, renovating and so on. Absolutely. But there's such a thirst for that. And I don't know if you saw Sarah and Luke on Thursday's show, the off-grid, the wonderful off-grid people who've got a really great following, and quite rightly so. Documenting their journey as well. But I don't think people can get enough of that. And the more intel and information and education we can get together for people, the better, I think. Well, Carl Munson, I did post up pics today and an update. Oh, is it all right showing those, Fiona? Can I share them on the show? If you give us a nod, I'll be able to share that on the screen. So, questions, Anna, what do we got? Oh, Anna, we got you muted there, I think.
Yeah, we've got
There she is.
I've got 3 from friends here, and I've got 4 from the group that I picked up on. And I understand this one's can either be pronounced Hucaras or Huicaras. I never quite remember which one. But my Alex Mount in Wiltshire is wondering, do they like different growing conditions, and where is best to grow a bright red one? The area, I think this is the area condition. It's or preference. I can't remember which. Full sun or mainly shade. The one currently is growing, but it's not producing any more leaves. It's very small and it's about 2 years old.
What do you call them, Lee?
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure because it broke up really badly at the beginning. Can you just repeat the name of the plant, Anna? I think that's for the first bit.
I'm not sure if it's pronounced Huikara or Hukara. I'm not absolutely. I think I've heard people pronounce it both ways.
I'm not really familiar with it. I don't. No, I wouldn't know. But going off what you've just said, if the one that's not doing very well is in the shade, then put them in the sun, or vice versa. It's not something I'm familiar with, so sorry, can't help.
All right. How do we spell that, Anna? Because I'm curious about that now. You don't have to tell us right now, but it will be good to find out what that might be.
If I could see the image, I might know.
I'm not sure if I was actually was I sent a picture. I'm not sure. The spelling of it is Heuchara.
Hukara.
I'm not sure if I
All right. I'm going to see if I can find some pictures of that.
Sorry, I forgot to WhatsApp this one, but I have got a picture. It's currently looking like that.
Oh, very good. Hold on. I'll just zoom in. Is that any better?
I can't really see on my little phone. I can just see a bit of a red, something in a black spot.
A red flower.
Dry. Yeah, I can't really see much. Doesn't really help.
All right, we'll come back to that. I'll see if I can find an image of the Hukara.
Yeah,
Hukara.
I'll Google it to find out. Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. Okay, next question then, Anna.
This one is more of an offer from my friend Kate. I can't actually remember if Kate's in Exeter or somewhere else, but she's actually said if anyone is actually interested in any spider plants or aloe vera, I can always post up the name if you like, and or put you in contact if I need to. But she has basically got some if anyone is wanting any aloe vera or spider plants. And yes, apparently they're good in shade and or partial sun, but they will burn in direct sun. And she just said people can get in touch via Facebook.
That's a very kind offer. Excellent. We need more of that.
Baxter is the name if anyone's interested. And
it's a great time of year for spider plants. Yeah.
And spider plants known for their ability to cleanse the air. There are a number of plants, aren't there, inside offices, I believe, or inside a home that are very good or supposed to be good for cleansing your environment. Spider plant being one of them, and pretty easy, pretty difficult to kill, right? As well, they're quite good for the people who say that they always kill their house plants.
They grow really well. This time of year, they're producing all shoots as well, and they're great for harvesting. Dead easy, level really well. Yeah, like I said, to kill.
We will go back to Hukara or Hukara. There's the image that I'm going to put on the screen right now. And we've got a little bit of info coming in from Eric. Thanks, Eric. Here in Mexico, we put these plants in the shadow, in the shade. Here in Mexico, yes, that's what's going on. Certainly in the Mexican environment, is they're liking a bit of shade there. I don't know if it's not. It may be no easier to see that, Lee. I've got a spider plant in my throat.
I think from the variation of the plant, I can't really see the leaf, but I think I know what it is now. Yeah, but it's not something I've really worked with before, so I wouldn't want to give an opinion on it. In all honesty,
we've got every possible position now in Mexico in the shade, and from Fiona's point of view, they love full sun or partial shade. So take your pick. You've got to try it. That's the thing. Is when I was talking to Chris this morning from Courtain Organic Wines, met the man behind Courtain Organic Wines this morning. What a fantastic bloke he is. And he very kindly gave us some pallet boxes, the old-fashioned pallet boxes that used to have fruit in the Caldash Hills here from the market gardening. And he was saying that's what you got to do in the garden is you experiment, don't you? Try something. If it doesn't work, you don't do it anymore. If you try something and it works, you do a little bit more of it. And you just slow and steady as you go. It's not like working in an office, is it? Or it's not like the most rational of human affairs. This is nature in the garden you're working with. So you've got to have a bit of patience, and you've got to have a bit of trial and error. And Eric's saying, yeah, of course, depends on the strength of the sun, I guess. So we hope that's helpful, Anna, for the person who we don't know how to pronounce it still though. Heuchera. We'll see if we can get a phonetic pronunciation. Really, the only thing that can go wrong with them is the watering. I'd mulch it and water well at least 2 feet from the base daily. Can't say how many litres of water, as I don't know how big the plant is. So she's getting a lot of information there for the person who
sounds like really good advice.
Great stuff. Okay, next question, please, Anna.
Yeah, I've got one from Dino on strawberries. They've the ones he has have finished fruiting, and he's wondering, do the leaves need to be cut or just left to shrivel away?
I think we covered this last week, right at the end of the show, and I'm not sure if I was clear about it. I always strip my leaves off because it makes it easier to see down into the soil for the slugs and the snails that like to hide underneath them. So strip them off, and this time of year as well, you'll be getting the fresh shoots coming out. Just plug them down, make sure they've got soil contact so they will regenerate and produce your plants for next year. So strip off all the dead and plug down your shoots.
Great.
I'm not sure I've got shoots on mine. We've still got some good strawberries coming through on ours. Still really nice.
Same here, and I don't know if this happens every year, but I think I tasted the sweetest strawberry ever from the garden here. Jacqueline picked it, and it was still, that lovely thing of when they're still warm from the sunshine, and they're just so mouth-wateringly delicious and tasty. And it was big as well, because often, when people are market gardening growers, they're growing for size, they sometimes lose a bit of flavour. But this was out of this world, extraordinarily sweet, and maybe I've got a bad memory, but it just seemed to be the most sweet strawberry I'd ever tasted in my entire life. So great time of year for that. Bit more on
we've had that many this year. The kids got bored of eating them, which is a sign of how many we've had.
Oh my word! Yeah. When children get fed up of eating strawberries, that tells you something, doesn't it? We've got the go ahead from Fiona, so we'll have a little tour of Fiona's patch in a bit. Good evening from Gemini as well. Thanks for joining us tonight, Gemini. Any questions from you, gardening wise? And so maybe this, what Fiona and Simon are saying, Saxifragaceae or Saxifrage, I think. Is that another name for it? Or coral bells? So it's always interesting when plants have a different, a range of different names, presumably depending on which part of the world you come from. But so it could be Saxifrage or Saxifragaceae or coral bells or Heuchera. So quite a lot about Heuchera tonight. To Lee, so you cut all the dead leaves after blooming, do you? With the emphasis on all.
On the strawberries, yeah. I always strip them off. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They go brown and really crispy. They're not going to regrow. Just pull them off. Put them in a compost bin.
There you go. All right. And another one for you quickly then while we're here, Lee. Struggling to get some moringa seeds, aka the tree of life. Got any ideas, Lee? Thanks a lot. So moringa, have you grown that?
I've not grown it, but I do know where. I know the seeds are available here in Portugal, and the plants are available here because I've seen one recently in VL Plants. It's called. It's a nationwide company. They've got sites all over Portugal. And there's one just outside of Lisbon on the way to Cascais on the tunnel there. It's a big company, but the staff are quite knowledgeable on what they've got in stock. And I do know they had some when I was there 2 weeks ago. So it's called VL Plants.
VL Plants. All right, thank you for that. I'll stick that in the comments. And that's on the outskirts of Lisbon, then, yeah.
Well, they've got sites all over Portugal.
Right. Okay.
I think there's 8 or 9 different plots they've got, and all there's one in the Algarve as well. So we're pretty well covered in Portugal by them.
That's good to know. Okay, so on the matter of sourcing plants, I mean the moringa thing, it's like one of the latest superfoods. There's always a superfood going around, isn't there? and moringa is definitely one of them, and that's probably something to do with the reason for Fiona and Simon asking. Maybe, I don't know. You can tell us, but I mean, to be called the tree of life, it must be something special about it. Gemini saying love gardening and mad about planting stuff. That's lovely to hear, Gemini. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, but sourcing plants. Dear old Roger has been asking about trees, hasn't he, in the Happy Homesteaders group? And I think you've been in touch with him, Lee, right? This thing about eucalyptus, it's not the most popular plant, not the most popular tree to plant in Portugal, is it? It's got a pretty bad reputation, really.
Yeah, it has, and it has for good reason. It's not a native plant. I think they grow too quickly and they become a problem because they look very nice when they're small and cute. But they do grow quick, and here in Portugal, I think a lot of the fires and a lot of trouble people have with trees are imported trees.
Yeah,
and you like to be one of the big no-nos here. So I suggest you might find something more local, something more appropriate.
Right,
but and it's his choice.
Yeah, and I mean, presumably it's not going to be difficult to find eucalyptus if that is what you want in Portugal.
Oh no, there are places that stock them, and I imagine his local gardener centre would get them in if he asked.
Yeah,
all the big places stock, or at least the whips, the eucalyptus whips. But again, it's not something I'd recommend using.
John's making me laugh here. Go on, you might as well share that publicly. And this is what occurred to me as well. I think Lee's description of they're very cute when they're little.
Yeah, it's just when you said they're very cute that when they're little and they're not a native species, it seemed a bit like having a tiger cub as a pet or something. Or maybe that's probably much too extreme, but it boils down to the same thing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and thanks, Anna. Sorry, Lee, go on.
No, it's just that people think that they're great for shade, and because they're quick growing, they'll get a quicker result with them. But it's just not. It's just not done. No.
Not cricket. Okay, so talking of wild and dangerous animals, I do need to speak about wild boar at some point. And I know Lee, frightened of a little piggy wiggy, are we? Lee, you were not there. You were not there in the dark, late at night, in the valley.
If you tell your story, then I'll tell my pig story. Okay.
All right. Okay, we'll come back to that. We're going to be swapping pig stories in a bit. Stay tuned. Useful page. Thanks, Fiona, for this. We'll have a look at your garden in a minute. It is a useful page for sourcing plants and seeds here. Thank you very much for that, Fiona. And another one as well. Fantastic. This is how it works among the gardening community. Baker's yeast is also good on making alcoholic fruit drinks. I don't know where that comment came from or where that originated, but yeah, all right, we'll go with that. At Fiona from Eric, same here. It's difficult to grow for us. They only tend to grow when I make the soil more sour. Okay, so that's interesting. Making the soil sour or adjusting the pH there, I guess. Eric, clearly a bit of an expert. So great to have your company, Eric. So let's go now to Fiona's garden and take a little look, and some pictures that were uploaded. We love this when people upload pictures of their gardens to the Facebook group. So let's go there now and see what Fiona has posted up for us this morning. Have I got the right tab that I'm sharing here? Let's see. You are watching the gardening Q&A from expatsportugal.com, the Get Out and Grow Project head gardener, Lee McGrady, and, of course, the Fresh Air team. No, I'm not sharing the right thing. Let's try a different screen. Too many tabs open always leads to tears, that doesn't it, eventually? This Facebook tab is dangerous. Too many tabs, especially, yes, if you're in the northeast of England. Okay, so Fiona Worrell, there. Let's bring that onto the screen now. I have found it. Here we go. Let's see. And we'll have a little bit of a commentary from the comments as well. Oh, will we? What's going on there? Is that some tomato action there in the Casa Worrell or Jardim Worrell? Well, they're big. They're a big kind of heirloom variety of tomato by the look of it. To me, Fiona, you may want to add in the comments as well. Oh, look at them. And I think those are tomatoes. And what's that? A great big melon growing there, possibly? Hard to tell from this angle, but something rather marvelous growing there. Does look like a melon vine to me. And it's looking pretty parched, I've got to say, in your part of central Portugal. You're still central, aren't you? And what's that? That looks like it could be one of those plants to avoid. One of the what, Anna? What were those plants at Seal Hayne that everyone was very worried about? That needed to hemlock, was it? Is that a hemlock there, Fiona? Let us.
I recognise the name hemlock. I'm just trying to remember the name. I know that definitely was one of them. That yeah, I think I know hemlock was the one that protective clothing needed to be worn to get rid of it. I think.
Yeah, and around the pond, a little bit dangerous.
I know there's. I'm trying to remember the other one. I know there is one where if you get the sap of it on your skin, it can burn.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember if that was hemlock or something. I think that was something else. And yeah, I think
that's giant hogweed.
The hogweed, yes, the hogweed can give you a bit of a
yeah.
burn, can't it? That's a lovely looking bloom there. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a kind of chrysanthemum or something there, Fiona. So a little bit of help in the comments would be wonderful. But thank you very much for the pictures from the Worrell patch there. Fantastic. And yes, please, always happy to see pictures from people. Thank you. Was it tomatoes, melons, and possibly a chrysanthemum at the end there, looking very green and a little bit parched as well. Let's have a look. As well as talking about baker's yeast, Eric's saying ground coffee on soil also works great for making the soil good for them. Are we still talking about heucheras there? And these are the umbrellifolia plants. So there's a bit of a I see a generalization of the conditions for the umbrellifolia plants. And Fiona Worrell saying, yes, the first picture. What? Banana leg tomatoes? Never heard of those. John will come up with something for that, I'm sure. What? He's that excited Mr. McGrady there.
I'll go and get mine. I'll go get mine that I pulled this morning.
Oh, he's going to get his banana leg tomatoes, everybody. Stand by. And the other...
There's something called orange banana, and it wasn't actually an orange or banana. I'm just trying to remember what fruit or vegetable that was to do with now. I do seem to remember that was from my time doing horticulture. I think I do remember that name in the back of my mind from somewhere.
Orange banana. Go on, John. Look, these are too good to be putting in the private chat here.
It's this thing. Blooming gardens are great.
Blooming great.
Blooming gardens are great.
John. And Fiona, I can't believe how wrong. Oh, look, hold on. Lee is holding up his tomatoes, which means something different in Portugal, I think. Look at those. So the same variety then. Is this the banana leg business?
Yeah.
Why, Lee? Why are they called banana leg tomatoes?
Because they're yellow and they look a bit like bananas-ish.
Okay. But leg? Why leg?
I don't know where the leg comes from.
Oh, okay. Look at that as well.
And these are something new as well. These are German black, I think I was told.
Yeah.
Given the seeds by a Portuguese lady. Not something I've grown before, but they are fantastic tomatoes. They've done really well this year. They
look like the sort you might fry in a bit of butter and salt and pepper, a bit on a beefy kind of steaky side. And my mouth's watering just saying that. What a crop! Look at him.
Well, that was all picked from this morning. That's just this morning's ice cream container full of tomatoes.
Beautiful.
4 or 5 different varieties in there as well. So
yeah, marvelous. Nice. Okay, the melon was a pumpkin. Sorry, and the green, lots of greener carrots are not hemlock. I'd be so rubbish in your garden, Fiona, honestly. And the flower is a zinnia. So wrong on just about every account there. I do beg your pardon. But thank you for your pictures nonetheless. And yes, all heritage or heirloom. And yes, some wild plants too. All medicinals, of course, because it's me. Yes, of course. Bewitched, which you should check out also. To always put the links in, Fiona, to what you're doing as well. We're always happy to have those in the comments. They taste sublime too, the tomatoes. My mouth is watering at the very thought of eating tomatoes. Okay, 1:45. Is it time to share pig stories and wild boar stories? Because Anna very kindly has sent me a guide on how to deal with. I do need to know how to deal with a wild boar if you encounter it. And this is what happened to me the other night. Forgive me if you've heard this before, but I was out walking the dog about 11 o'clock at night, so it was dark, just starlight, and it's a bit of a slivery moon at the moment, silvery, slivery moon, so not a well-lit path. I'm making my way along there. I'm going past the smell of the decomposing wild boar that I found a week before, where I think they've torn each other to pieces, literally, right? I don't know what else would have done it. I think they've done it to each other. And the dogs start getting a bit agitated, and there's a bit of barking. And then from the bottom of the valley, we're hearing... and it wasn't my dogs, it was wild boar. And I looked at the dog and the dog looked at me, and I could tell from the look on his face that he wanted to run, and he could tell the same from my face. Let's run. So we turned and legged it as fast as we could, and I didn't realize I could run that fast. And we realized as well, or I did, I mean, Jimmy, the bigger dog, didn't care, but Peggy, the little terrier, was still there. You know what terriers are like? She was up for it, and trying to find out what was going on. And I think she had a little pop and then ran away as well. But by the end of it, the three of us were back, like on adrenaline, back in our garden. And I was actually scared. I was when it all sunk in. I was thinking, what if a old grandma wild boar had come at me with a couple of her like daughters or whatever? I don't know what I'd have done. So, Lee, what would you have done in that situation? And what's your pig story?
Last year we cycled to Fatima. Over 2 days, we took one of the longer Caminos to Fatima, and we did an overnight wild camp in hammocks. And we'd been in the hammock about an hour when the lad I was cycling with woke me up and said, "There's somebody coming." And we could hear the noise coming through the trees, and we only had little head torches. And I realised straight away it weren't a person. So I waited until they got maybe 6 foot from us. Then I turned my headlight on, and I won't tell you what I shouted at them, but they scattered in every different direction. There must have been, well, there was at least 4 adults I could see in my small head torch, but then loads of little piglets.
No.
And they just scattered in every direction. I laughed my head off and fell back straight to sleep. My travel partner was awake all night panicking, thinking you're going to come back and eat us. But I've bumped into them quite a few times in the dark, and they're always more scared of you than you are of them.
Well, that's what I was saying.
If you just shout out, if you just shout anything, just shout, get lost, pigs. They always run in the opposite direction. They don't want to stand and get in a tussle with you.
No, okay.
Just don't try and pin one to the floor with a pocket knife.
Say that last bit again.
Don't try to pin one to the floor with your pocket knife, because it'll probably win. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right. Yeah, you've seen my pocket knife. Yeah, and I think they are most aggressive if you get between them and their babies, right? So you don't want to be doing that.
They always run away. They don't. It's very hard to. They've got poor eyesight, but they've got a great sense of smell. Okay. So you can surprise them, but once they know you're there, they just want to scatter. They don't want to stand up for it.
Very good. Good to know. And why do you think it was making such a horrendous noise in the valley? Was it responding to the dogs?
Oh yeah, it'll be a dogs. It'll be a dogs. When I was up in Scotland, I had an old lurcher, and he was always bumping them. He was always knocking them out of the bushes, and because they can lie flat and you can walk straight past them.
Oh.
But the dog was always getting to scuffles with them. But he was quite well trained dog and would come at command. Yeah. But I've heard of loads of people where they've had to go to the vets for the dog. Yeah. Because at some point the pig will turn around and start fighting back. Yeah. Especially piglets there. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. Excellent. Well, there's a little bit of education that I wasn't expecting, and I suspect the same is for others here tonight. Yes, Tarzan, tell us, says, yes, I wasn't out in my loincloth and I wasn't shouting across the valley, but that's not a bad picture. How I'd like to see myself out on an evening stroll. The tomato taste. So yes, they taste sublime. The tomatoes, bet they do, Fiona. You look like you have the black ox heart toms there, Lee. So black ox heart by the sound of it.
Yeah, some are, and the other are slightly smaller. And I was told they were called German black. But they taste very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love names like that, ox heart. I mean, that's a very good image that it conjures up there. What would Lee do if a wild boar snuck up on him, like the barbecue? I guess Stephen knows Lee so well. When I was in the army, it always surprised me how noisy hedgehogs are in the fallen leaves. Tiny little hedgehogs, yes, especially during the nights in the forest. It sounded like a person walking. Fun times. And you could get easily spooked, can't you? Carl, I'm enjoying the show. Oh, cheers, Gemini. I appreciate it. And we've still got more questions, of course. Anna, thank you for that prompt. What you got?
I was just having a look at all the questions. I've got one that Louisa sent in fact. Is there anything that you can't grow near pine trees?
Oh.
Oh, there's lots that you can't grow near pine trees. Pine trees are quite difficult to go underneath because the pines are quite acidic.
Right.
So I mean, in a way, it's great for acidic plants, but just looking into the countryside, looking where the pines grow here, the ground is always very bare 'cause it's very dry. They take up all the water. So you've really got to think, if you're going to grow under pine trees, you've got to think about clearing a good depth of soil to add new fresh soil or compost, and really consider putting in an irrigation system, because otherwise the ground will just be so hard and so dry that things really do struggle with them.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it can be done. And spider plants grow well under pine trees, actually. We talked about them earlier.
Yeah.
I have a customer that has 4 large pine trees in her garden, and we grow virtually everything underneath them, but we have great irrigation. We've been adding organic matter, and that'll be a really ongoing process with it, just to keep the pH levels right and to keep the soil of good quality.
Good shout. That's great. Thank you, Lee. Because that's what I'll be on with that. It's where our chickens are. They're inside an area where there's 5 trees. There are 6 trees, I think. Well, however many trees there are, I've got a 5-sided place called the Hentagon where we keep our chickens. So the chicken manure and them scratching it up was going to help as well, by the sound of it.
Yeah. More than anything, it's the water. It's getting water to whatever you want to grow. That's the difficult bit.
Okay. All right. So
that's always the same in Portugal anyway. Yeah.
Okay, great to know. All right, let's have a look. Look at this. I got a pocket knife. We had machine guns. We had many moments searching with our machine guns, trying to find a person in the night when on watch, just to find a little cute small animal. Yes, which I hope you helped to safety after all of that, Eric. Fiona and Simon used to park a car under a conifer. It wrecked the paintwork. So this is the acidity, is it, and the sap or whatever the resin that comes from the pine trees.
The sap is horrendous. And I've got a dint in the roof of my van from the pine falling onto the roof of the van. It was a big one, and it put a proper dent in the roof of my van as well. Yeah.
So chickens have got to watch out. The chickens have got to watch out below as well. If I find a concussed chicken, I'll know why. Okay, Anna, sorry, go on. We got some more from you, haven't we?
The question, a question I had from Roger from the group: is it harvest season for almond tree with ripened pods? I believe there was a photo sent in for that one as well, I think.
Oh, I see. Where was that then? Was that in the group?
I think.
So is it not a little bit early for?
It was. I'm trying to think how far back that one was now. We have that one. Oops. I'm not sure.
So what were you going to say there, Lee? What were you? I think you began to answer the question anyway there.
Well, I actually don't think. I think it's a little bit early, but I suppose it depends what part of Portugal you're in. I know Jason has some on his land, and I think his is still a bit early.
Right.
I don't think Jason's are quite ready for harvesting yet.
I have got.
But again,
I've got a question
it could
here.
be. It could be different in different parts of the country.
Yeah, Anna, let me know. Is this is what we're talking about here? I think, isn't it? Is this crop here? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, absolutely. I got it here.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if that's big enough for you to see there, Lee.
Oh, that looks ready. Yeah, from what I can see, that looks ready. Yeah, they might just be earlies.
Okay.
Yeah, from the image I can just about see.
Yeah.
Is that
fantastic?
Is that in the group?
Yeah, that's Roger. Roger's in there in the Happy Homesteaders with a couple of pictures there.
I'll have a look back after the show and make a comment on his on the feed. I'll pop a look at the images.
Nice one, mate. Okay.
I know Jason, who's normally a viewer. I know he grows them, so maybe Jason could chip in if he's with us tonight.
Nice one, Jason. Okay, and I think a question from Corey. Is that right, Anna, about vines?
Yeah, I think the one I noted down was the got a new place, what to plant and what prep to do at this time of year. And also another one, is it normal for vines not to have any budding grapes at this time of year?
all the vines I deal with are either starting to become heavy or are really heavy with grapes at the moment. But we're Lisbon area, and all the vines have been treated throughout the year to stop disease and pests from getting at them. So maybe she's got some that are a little bit not been pruned, not been looked after. But I know everyone I deal with, they've all got great grapes at the moment. Or if not full grapes, they've got them coming on. So maybe she needs to look at prepping for next year, starting doing a pruning, start doing some revision on what sort of grape vines she's got, and have a look at the other vines in the area, see if they're doing well or if they're suffering as well.
Because she is in a new place and there's problems with bindweed and mare's tail. It sounds a bit overgrown. What to do, what to plant. And I know your advice before, Lee, is like, take it easy. Don't just get stuck in. Like, watch it for a little while. There's no, maybe not to hurry and do anything too hasty, but do a bit of clearance and a little bit more on the observation side, like we were saying before.
The first season when you get there, you're always keen to get stuck in and get as much done as possible. But you've got to prioritise these things. And if she's got vine weed and she's got mare's tail, that would be my priority, to get rid of those two, because they are a nightmare.
Nightmare's tail, you might say.
Oh, mare's tail is terrible. It's a prehistoric plant. It's been around since the dinosaurs. But no, it has. They found it in dinosaur poo. Fossilized dinosaur poo. It's very difficult to get rid of, because it has a lot of silicone in it. So a normal herbicide just won't even touch it; just washes off.
Amazing. Okay, you got to dig it out.
She really needs to pay it. Well, no, you can't. You can't dig it out either. It's got such fine roots. That's right. If you leave one little bit of root in, it just bounces straight back. So there are techniques for getting rid of it, but they're all very difficult or illegal. But sometimes you have to break the law, because it's terrible. Yeah.
You didn't hear that here. Bindweed is edible and medicinal. So is mare's tail. There you go.
No, kill them all. Kill them all as quick as possible.
Chicken manure is rocket fuel in a compost pile. We've got a minute to go, and I've got a clip to play. Thanks, everybody, for your wonderful contributions today. Mrs. M was on a conference at the weekend, the Higher Self Expo, and there's a guy talking there about permaculture, and he said a beautiful thing. He said, all the problems of the world can be solved in your back garden. And I thought that was a wonderful sentiment and a great part of permaculture philosophy. I've got a further quote from him that's a minute long. I understand you've got to go, John, but I'm going to spin this in now. And thank you all very, very much for being here. All the commenters, all the people watching. Thank you. Cheers, Lee. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, John. Let's listen to what Helder has to say now.
You know, permaculture also gives us a lot of responsibility. The more we understand it, the more responsibility we are carrying. And the ecological movement is the movement most exposed to burnout, because we realize the world is in really bad shape, and that these energy flows are not clean. There's a lot of pollution in there, a lot of waste, in many different ways, even toxicity in the human body, toxicity in the environment. And we try to move away from that and to regenerate. Permaculture is a regenerative movement, and that's something very special about it also.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you're talking about there, the sort of like clean energy exchange, and also how it impacts us just outside of our gardens, you know, that you know, there's a political and social context.
Thank you very much, Mrs. M. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We're back here again next Monday at 6:15. Cheers, Lee. Cheers, Anna. Bye for now.